can always clip.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, guys? So, we just did it. We interviewed. We got only 5 minutes in with my phone, and then it stopped. So we're gonna go ahead and continue. This is gonna be part 2 of the interview. So we talked about his family and his upbringing and how that impacted him. And then we were now what we're going into right now is kind of how we met and his passions, which is going to be trading the financial markets, right?
Right.
So let's talk a little bit kind of how you got into that, and then kind of how that introduced you to me.
Yeah. So I mean, I was originally 2020, I believe, end of 2020.
Yeah.
Just started really getting more into crypto. I mean, I always wanted to do like trading stocks and all that, but I mean, it never really grabbed my attention, especially stocks.
Okay.
So I was just more into investing into crypto,
Like buying it.
and holding. Yeah. The typical thing.
Yeah.
And then I just saw more, people talking about trading, and it just kind of captured my attention a lot more. An easier way for me to take control of how much money I want to make.
Okay.
So that's why I saw it in that way. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure the risk, obviously, at that point, I was like, oh, well, the risk, and never really thought about the risk, because I wasn't really aware.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I just started getting more into it, doing my own homework, just kind of looking up how to trade, chart patterns, all the stuff, just the basics of the basics, just trying to do baby steps at a time,
Okay.
That way I can just kind of get an overall picture of what trading was and how to do it and whatever, but I started seeing your post on Instagram, and it kind of captured my attention even more into it, kind of got a little bit more baited into it, thankfully, I mean, that's how I got, into it, but thanks to you,
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
So I just started kind of hitting you up a little bit, because I'm like, just trying to hit you up a little bit, just kind of plant some seeds in you and just kind of get your attention and just for you to realize that I'm interested in it too, because I know you were kind of trying to get those people, like, who's...
I always want to put people on, and but also build a community, always of people and like a network.
Right. So that's what kind of captured me into doing it more, and I wanted to kind of approach you into like kind of not at that point, like at that time, I didn't want to like just kind of like, hey man, how do you do this? How do you do that? Try to bug you and bombarding you with a bunch of questions and stuff. So I wanted to kind of prep myself up for that moment to then talk to you with the lingo and everything. So that way you're like, oh, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about, Not like some newbie, which I was,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's how we kind of connected, and then you started talking about like, okay, I'm looking for certain people to start doing like Zooms and stuff. So then I was like, cool, I'm gonna seize my moment right now. That's when I hit you up, and I already had kind of planted those seeds with you. So you were just like, okay, cool, let's go. And then those Zooms, we had like 5 people.
Oh yeah,
remember those?
I remember those. It was a while ago, guys.
So we had 5 people, and I would always be the only one there because everybody else was like kind of ghosting us.
Yeah. I remember like it would be some people. I remember once it was a couple and some, and then it was just us.
Us two. Just us two all the time, and we would just do the one-on-one. And that's, I mean, from there it just kind of started like not forcing me, but inspiring me to just do my own thing and just learn on my own. For you pushing me, because I wanted to meet the expectations all the time. I don't want you to be like, oh, this guy's not on top of it. So I kind of put that pressure on me, but I like that, like it was like, because this is what I wanted to do, It was like,
keep you accountable.
Exactly. So I set my mind to just making it happen, and that's what I did, and
awesome.
that's what we are here, So
we did meet before, actually. We met.
During the
I had
stages.
my ex. It was I think my ex knew your.
Yeah, they
girl.
worked together. They worked together. So
that's how we met each other first. But so we met like that, and then we kind of we lost touch, but then we regained back touch with trading crypto. So also do want to talk about like let's talk about like your other passions, which is like health and fitness, and like like what can you, because I know you taught me a lot with stuff like that, and like what can you help our listeners here, like what value can you give them on
health and fitness? I mean, I started getting into fitness.
Why it's important?
Yeah, well at first, I mean, when I first started getting into fitness was like probably 10 years ago, and I was just kind of into like the douchebag fitness mentality, And it wasn't really like for my health and for my well-being and for for my spirituality. None of that. You know, it was more like I'm gonna just look good, have a 6-pack, so everybody knows that I look fucking good. You know.
Yeah.
You know, like Jersey Shore shit. You know.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
So I mean, that was my mentality. You know, like kind of closed-minded mentality. You know, like just doing it for myself, and you know, this is how I don't look like. You know, not really into health, just kind of fitness, but. As the years went by, you know, I kind of let go of the whole, you know, ego shit, you know, and then kind of let go of my own health, and I came to a point and a realization where like I was just like, damn, you know, well, I need to take care of the only body that I have, you know, like I kind of came to a realization, like an epiphany, like if I'm gonna be giving my body garbage all the time, then I mean, expecting me to, you know, have a productive or have not a productive life, or have a life full of energy and ambition and motivation. You know, it first comes from the one energy source, that is what you consume. You know, like that's the main cause of energy. You know, like that's where we all get our energy from our consumption of food, right? So if you want to, you know, have energy, like, you know, all the time for motivation or for whatever, anything that you want to do in your life, you know, it comes within, you know. So it's important to have some sort of, like, you know, knowledge and awareness of what you're consuming in your daily basis, you know.
Yeah. So I got you. So like, what you're saying is like, okay, like, don't eat shitty foods. Because ultimately that's going to give you like a shitty production.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned before, guys, and before we cut off, guys, like we had really good topics, but he was talking about how having your mind right. So maybe you can talk about like the synchrony about having this and this and this, and it gives you this automatic.
Right. So, and also what got me back into kind of like, you know, health and my body and my mind. It was just kind of just having an awareness of living in the moment, you know, like kind of realizing that, you know, we only have obviously one life, and we only have one present moment, which is right now, you know. Okay. And just kind of soaking everything in, like as far as life itself, you know, precious, being grateful for every situation, every moment that we have, you know, appreciating everything, you know, kind of having that self-awareness, and also then realizing that, you know what, well, in order for me to feel good and look good, you know, I have to consume and eat good, you know, like it just kind of makes sense, you know, like if you and it's not to talk bad about anybody, but if you don't feel good and you know you don't look good, then maybe you're eating kind of shitty too, you know. Yeah, I mean, not to be a dick, you know, but it's true. Like if you really want to feel good and look good, then consume good stuff, you know. And you can't blame anybody else, or you can't blame anybody as far as genetics, how you look like.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do that, right?
Right. I mean, it's kind of controversial, but I mean, you can't really point fingers at other people about your own personal situations, like your health, right? Because we all have full control of what we can consume. We all have that mental awareness, you know, that we consume bad things. Obviously, residually is not gonna do us good. How we look and how we act, and how productive we are in life, you know. So I mean, I started kind of realizing that, you know, everything came like hand in hand. You know, if I really wanted a successful life, something productive, full of energy, then I have to take care of the only vessel that I have. You know, my only body, my only vessel. If I consume the right foods, you know, and I control my appetite, and I control, you know, I don't overeat, and I'm super aware of what I'm putting in my body. Therefore, I'm gonna be. It's gonna reflect outside in my physical reality. You know, I'm gonna feel better. I'm gonna be more confident about myself. You know, I'm gonna have more energy. You know, so, and I'm gonna have the right energy, not like the.
Talk about like because he was talking about how, because I think a lot of people aren't aware that you said, you know, they feel sluggish and they feel like shit, and they feel like when you guys don't feel really motivated, how. You know, talk about some root causes about that. Yeah,
so I mean, like, if you think about it, the foods that we consume, right? The foods that we consume, for the most part, are, you know, processed foods, right? I mean, they're everywhere, and it's convenient. It's easy for us to just grab a burger or whatever, instead of actually like taking your time and cooking a home cooked meal, right? So these foods that we consume on a daily basis is for convenience only, but we don't, obviously we consume them and it's easy for us to eat, but it takes so much more work for your body to digest and process these processed foods, you know, therefore you feel sluggish, your energy levels go down, you know, you don't feel so alert, you know, you kind of have cloudy, foggy memory because you're just like, you know, I just want to take a nap. Just kind of it takes a toll of your body because your body is working, it's producing energy to break down food that then in return is not going to give it any energy back. You know, you're not going to get that energy in return for you to be motivated, for you to get up early in the morning, for you to think clearly, for you to make the right decisions. You know, it's not going to give you that energy that you really want. So,
so it's really important.
It's really important, you know. Like, I mean, and that's something that came in my mind, and therefore I kind of changed my mindset around of what I consume, you know. And I started consuming just natural foods. I love to cook.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what?
You make some. You make.
Yeah.
You make some good shit here.
So I love to cook. So
yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna put that to use, and I'm just gonna be vigilant of what I eat and what I consume. And since I like to cook and I like to, you know, make good foods, I'm just gonna go ahead and just do that. You know, like it just makes sense for me.
Okay.
You know, why go out there and buy some processed foods I don't even know what I'm consuming when I can just cook my bomb ass meals at home.
Yeah.
Eat pretty much whatever I make, and have an awareness of what I put in it, and that it's not bad and that's not going to do any harm to my body.
Yeah.
And it's going to produce me energy, and it's going to produce me you know, the positive things in it. You know. It's not gonna...
Yeah. You also mentioned earlier. You said like that like you said like the way I made it too. Like you it's like it's kind of true. I didn't think about that too. Like, you know, fucking you making shit with love and shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, bro.
So like
me,
I guess that
yeah.
you know guys, because I love Chick-fil-A. You know, I love Popeyes, and you know when they're fucking making them chicken shits. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they put any love in that.
They
so
don't, bro. It's funny, but it's true. But like, cause people who try my food, I'm not trying to brag, but it's bomb, right?
Yeah.
But they're like, yo, what'd you put in it? I'm like, well, lots of love, you know?
Damn,
lots of love.
Guys, yeah, that's
and
a
I
secret.
feel like because I transfer this passion and love into making what I'm doing, and whatever I do in my life, I do it with love and passion.
Yeah.
Therefore, it reflects, you know? It just shows. It just shows. And it shows in what I do in my art, you know? And it shows in everything that I do. You know, it just shows a huge reflection because you put love and passion into something, it's gonna be good. You know, it's not gonna.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
I think you're. Yeah, no, I think that's like really the top of that. Sometimes I forget about the importance of that. Let's talk about guys. So one thing I learned a lot from him too is, and what we can learn is relationship stuff. So you know, like how to. You know, kind of overcome problems with your relationship, your significant other. Because I think a lot of us right now, we quit too easy.
Right.
You know, we don't. Yeah, the easy way out.
Right.
We don't talk things out, and we don't have like some sort of methods on fixing problems, right? And I think that I think that's happening a lot now in generation. And this generation is ruining a lot of families,
Right.
Potential families. So why don't you talk a little bit about that? How talk about how you met your girl.
Okay.
Talk about maybe some like tough times, how you overcame those,
Right.
and then give them some tips. Some simple tips.
No, definitely. So I met my girl by 11 years now. It's gonna be actually 12 years. Oh wow, in April. Wow.
Oh damn.
Yeah,
you better know that, right?
Yeah, I better know that one, right? So yeah, we met through. I was working for this MLM company.
So MLM, like
multi-level marketing,
they
right?
call it pyramid scheme,
Pyramid
whatever.
scheme,
Which I think
right.
they're very good, to be honest.
It's great fundamental, you know.
Yeah,
as far
they're
as
very good.
leadership and all that. So I met her through one of my buddies that I went to high school with, and he brought her in, and they were cousins, right? So at the time she was dating some other guy.
Yeah.
So, but I was, I found her really attractive. So I kept following up with him, like, yo, when are they gonna break up? Because I don't want to just be like hit her up and be that douche guy who just takes someone's girl, you know?
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want that to happen to me, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
So I don't do that, you know. So. So I kind of followed up with them, and then he messages me one time like, hey, guess what? She's single. I'm like, cool.
Oh, damn.
Boom, my turn,
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I
Be a little smooth talk.
yeah. So I messaged her on MySpace. Damn.
MySpace.
Wow.
God damn.
Damn.
Okay.
And she's like, hey, do you have a Facebook? I'm like, shit, I gotta keep up with the trend here, So I made a Facebook just for her.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my god, I'm your first follower. Or your first
Friend? I don't know.
friend,
Yeah,
whatever.
it's
Friend, right?
Yeah.
Friend. and she's like, how long have you had it for? I'm like, I had it for some time. You know, I just really made it for her, you know.
Yeah. It's pretty cute.
So yeah, we met that way, and it was, you know, after that we just kind of clicked, and you know, yeah, I mean, you know, like every relationship we had
Talk a little bit, yeah. So
rough,
to maybe,
rough patches here and
Yeah,
there.
you need to like super into it, but like, you know, kind of like talk about maybe like that way something where these people can relate with, and then
Right.
how you overcame that.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like we had these. Everybody, we all have problems, you know, and the main thing is like that I learned a lot is, and if you really want to be with that person, you're obviously gonna do anything you want to do. You know, everything you have to do to be with that person, you know.
What does that mean?
So like you're gonna try your hardest to make it work, right? And if you see yourself like you really want to, it's I mean it's as simple as it sounds, kind of hard, but if you want to be with that person, you see with that you see yourself with that person long term wise. You know, you put all these thoughts in your mind, kids, everything. You know, like everything you ever want. If you want it with that person, you're gonna do a lot to make it happen. You know, and your mentality has to be straight, because if your intentions are not right, I feel like if your intentions are not right, you're just kind of not you're there for a fling and you don't really want nothing serious, then clearly it's not going to work out, because you're already telling yourself that you're not looking for something serious, you know?
So maybe that's where a lot of people maybe have issues.
Yeah, because they don't really know what they want. You know, they're not really committed to anything. And if you're not committed to either or, then it's going to reflect on your relationship right away.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, energy is everything. You know, you don't show interest sometimes, and you know, and if you don't really want it, you don't really care if it works out. You're into the person, but you're not really like willing to commit yourself in being with them and thinking long term, not just like short term. You know.
Yeah.
Then you're not gonna get that far. You know. You're not gonna get that far.
So what would you say? Okay, so give them some tips on how they can last long in a relationship.
I mean, for me, from my experience, you know, it's not beating around the bush. You know, like when you're talking to someone and you're obviously dating someone, then you have to be front. You have to be real. You have to make them understand your perspective. You have to communicate with each other all the time. You know, you can't.
Give an example of communication. Like, give an example of like a situation where communication is important, and like how you communicate.
Well, I mean, instead of expecting something from someone, like I expect you, my girlfriend, to already know that this is how I like this and that, right?
Yeah.
And we always have high expectations on that, because it's supposed to get me. They're supposed to understand who I am. But it's like, that's just involving your ego, you know? Mm-hmm. That's just creating drama right there. That's just creating. Then next time someone argues and it's controversial, or it's the other way around, then it creates that problem again, because no, well, you did it to me, then I'm gonna do it to you too.
That's
you know.
true, yeah. Okay.
So if you don't understand me, then I'm not gonna understand you, and it becomes a dilemma that is unnecessary when you can just easily just communicate with each other. You know.
How? So
be trans. I mean, like you.
So you can say like maybe like something that a pet peeve maybe, and then you're like, okay, what's your communication strategy? Like, hey.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I like to remain calm, you know, and yeah, it's hard to remain calm, especially when you're trying to explain something to someone and they're not understanding why, or because they're so like in their minds and in anger and all that, and it's happened both ways, right? Like we don't want to hear it, you know.
Yeah.
So that's when it really kind of just has to come down to a bigger person, you know.
So you're saying that's
well, I mean,
man always, I'm assuming,
right? Because I don't want. It's like if you want to continue the drama and the fight, then yeah, go ahead and go down to their level, or vice versa, you know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So one person always has to be
right. So one person always has to be the one that, okay, you know, the sense of there has to be a sense of direction. Otherwise, you're both going to take each other down, and then it's going to be a mess. And I've learned that so many times, and life has checked me all the time, where I just drop down and be like, no, fuck this, you know.
Yeah.
And it never works out that way. It always
like your
my ego comes in, it prolongs the fight when it can easily just be it can easily be avoided by someone becoming the bigger person.
So you chose to do that.
And I chose to do that. You know, I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna just go on the level where it's just gonna be back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just be the bigger person and just, you know, let's address it in a way that needs to be addressed, in a calm way, in a relaxed way. That way, it gets to that person's ear and it doesn't just come out of the ear, you know. And you kind of grasp it and put a perspective into someone's mind where they're just like, you know what? Yeah, let's just talk about it, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing though, like one thing that I learned also with my relationship is that we need to talk about things that happen. You know, like if we get in an argument about something today, let's talk about it tomorrow. Let's just not forget about it. I don't care.
Oh, that's true.
Right?
That was one of my biggest pet peeves.
Because I mean, it's like then guess what? It's gonna happen again, and it's gonna happen again and again and again and again.
So always talk. So talk about when the problem happens. Consistently talk about it so you can solve it.
Right. So you can find a solution, and then next time that same problem does happen, then we can kind of go back into it. Hey, remember what we talked about and this and that, and you're like, oh shoot, that's right. So we keep on each other on check, and that's how we've been building our relationship even stronger. Not by bringing back the past, because that's horrible. That's something we used to do too. Like, well, you used to do this and I used to do that, and that's just bringing. You're digging old bones. You know, you're bringing back the past, and that's not healthy for the relationship. For you to guys keep moving forward. You know, if you're bringing the past, how you expect to move forward. You know.
So make sure to never bring the past.
Never bring up the past, unless it's a learning experience. Like a conversation that we had, how we fixed a certain situation, an argument that we had one time. Then we fixed it the next day by talking about it.
Yeah.
And therefore, if it happens again, then we remind each other like, yo, well, remember what we talked about. And therefore we keep on each other like on check and accountability with each other, you know.
That's good.
And it kind of builds on its own, you know.
Oh, I see.
And some other problem comes through again, then we talk about it, or if we get mad about it, then we make sure we bring it up the next day and figure out a way to fix that, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that we avoided for like forever, 5 years, I would say, you know, avoiding talking about problems that we would have, and we would just wash them out, and the next day we'll be like, oh, we're back to normal. And then these problems will always accumulate that they will never get resolved.
Yeah.
So then at one point it's gonna pop, right?
Yeah.
And at one point, I mean, I'm sure at one point that happens, that you just kind of wash away all the problems and you guys keep going with your life the next day like nothing happened. That eventually someone breaks up with someone because like, yo, I just can't anymore. And then you're like, well, the other person's like, well, what happened? I'm so clueless, you know. It's because there was lack of communication. There was no
dust under the rug.
Right. So there was nothing. No sort of like. There was no sort of
closing the gap.
Closing the gap. There was no. There was no sort of like okay, let's work things out. There's no sort of like, okay, let's work on this.
Yeah.
There was no sort of like adding some sort of fixture into the relationship. You know, it was always just kind of washed down.
Yeah.
So at one point, it's not gonna work out. You know, if you think about it.
When was the aha moment for that?
When it just became too repetitive. Like I just got tired of it. Like it's the same stuff over and over. And when we try to talk about it, it would always be during the fight moment. And when it's the fight moment, no one wants to hear it. You know?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
We were like, I don't want to talk about it. I want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't hear it. And then the next day, it's like, well, are we gonna argue about it again? You know? So it's like those moments kind of started gathering up until when I chose to be the bigger person. And instead of bringing my ego back into the conversation again and getting mad, right? I just decided to just be calm and just be like, well, this is how, this is something that needs to be addressed, and my voice will change, and that instead of being so argumental and higher, like a mad tone of voice, I just would be more settled and more like, make her understand, make not only see my point of view, I would see her point of view, and I would also then ground down to her level and just think about her situation and how it's affecting her, instead of just thinking about myself, how it's affecting me and me. It's like, bro, we're together. We're one, So let's think as one, and let's help each other grow, because we're on the same team. And I would always tell her that, like, we're on the same team and we want to level up together.
So that's a good one, guys. So we're on the same team that's a good line.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're
put things in perspective.
Exactly. That's how we wouldn't see things before. Like, and we would see things in each other. I would see things in my perspective and hers in her perspective, that we never combine perspectives to see, like, yo, we're a team here. We do things together. We do everything together. So let's act like a single person, like a one person, for us to really deeply understand each other.
Yeah.
And ever since we kind of changed that mindset and we started working on that, it feels like now we kind of operate.
So talk about how. So we before it was fight, fuck you, I'm not gonna listen to you, fuck you. Now it's cooperation. And like talk a little about that.
Yeah, we synchronize a lot more now. We kind of are really aware of what we do now, and communication is everything for us. And it's not like we're clingy or nothing like that. You know, it's not like we're always like on top of each other.
Oh,
It's
okay.
we're really understanding on what we're doing because we have built ourselves to that point where like we trust each other to the max, you know.
Yeah.
And everything that we do at this point in time, it's not just for me; it's for both of us, you know.
I
And
see.
the things she does, and she sacrifices things that she does, it's not just for her; it's for both of us. So we work together as one individual, you know, as a unity, for us to then level up in life, because that's the ultimate goal. You know, we want to keep progressing, keep leveling up, keep evolving. So we do things as a whole, you know.
I see.
And just we have that understanding, like we're doing things because you know we're doing it for ourselves and we're doing it for our future and for our future kids and for everything. Then it's there's a bigger picture. It's not just about us anymore. You know, it's not just about me or her. It's about us. It's about us together and building a better future for ourselves. You know, and if we want that better future, then we have to follow the steps that or follow the rules and stuff that we learned from our past. You know.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
We have to, bro, because otherwise we're gonna go backwards instead of forward, you know?
Yeah.
So we're in the same mentality, in the same page, and we talk about this all the time, every day. We're always like,
How are
really,
things going,
yeah,
or
how,
like
yeah,
how-
we're always, you know, super communicative with each other, and if something's wrong, it doesn't take much for us to then talk about it, you know? Before it would be like trying to guess, like what the
Are you
is
trying to
going.
reach his mind?
Yeah,
or-
like, are we like, it wouldn't
Yeah.
work that way, you know? So
So no, and no. So guys, those are some gems, guys. Because honestly, like I think if you guys are having some issues with your relationship or whatnot, maybe
Yeah.
maybe you both of you guys fucking watch this shit together because you dropped a lot of bombs. And you've been with you for a long time, and
Right.
it's actually super hard to do that, guys. It really is. It always ends up breaking off after like the 5th year, somewhere around there.
especially nowadays, you know?
Yeah. So let's talk about now. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the future. What are our plans? Because this is, I would say for sure, you know, my best friend, and I don't think best friends, because I've known him for like 7 years, right?
Right, 7
I
years.
don't think best friends are that have to do with like timing. It has to do with like interest, passions, and alignment.
Ambition,
And-
everything, alignment, alignment's the key. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So
definitely.
talk about what's your next moves. What do you want to do in life? So talk about your next moves. What do you want to do, like say in the later in life, and like how are you gonna do that?
Well, I mean, right now, I just want to focus on what I have in front of me. You know, like obviously, God has put me in this present moment and where I'm at right now for a reason, and I value everything, every moment, and especially our moments together. You know, just what we're working on. You know, we're working on
Yeah. What are we telling about that?
yeah, we're working on our mainly like working on ourselves and leveling ourselves and our mentality to keep moving forward for us to then, you know, have other people, like-minded people like us, you know, come in and plug into what we're doing and get inspired, you know.
Discord. Talk a little about that. Like kind of like what's your so we have a Discord, guys, a crypto trading Discord. Talk a little bit about that and maybe like kind of like what you like your role in it and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I mean, well, my role in it is, you know, you know, just trading signs, trading signals, and just kind of just have people see what I see in the market and see if their perspective and my perspective kind of line up and see what they can feed off what I show them and
The opportunity.
yeah,
Yeah, like you're looking for opportunities in the market. He's very good
Right.
at. I would say you got a lot better, bro.
a lot better. Yeah,
Yeah, you got a lot better. And
from being a newbie before I hit you up, you know.
Yeah.
From that moment to now, yeah. I mean, it's crazy, but it's awesome, you know.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what he's doing, guys, doing a very good job at is locating and looking for opportunities by using a lot of different indicators.
Right.
Basically, being able to fucking read the market and say, hey, look, this shit's about to go up. Let's go ahead and buy. And he's doing a very good job of that.
Thank you,
but,
man.
But talk about how this plays into the bigger picture.
Yeah. So I mean, this is.
And we can go into the crazy shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
You know, the crazy
This
stuff.
this is just like, I mean, for me, I see it as a huge opportunity. I love to do it. You know, I involve so much passion into doing what I do now, especially with trading. But I see it mainly like a huge vehicle for us. You know, like capital vehicle. Like we can make so much money off this market. We're super in tune on what we do and we love what we do. So let's just completely keep killing it. You know, let's keep rolling with this, and let's make so much money out of this. So then we can then pursue like real life changing things. You know, like real world impacting events. You know, we can really change the world in a positive way, in our way, in our reality way. You know.
Yeah.
That therefore people can start seeing what our real intentions are. You know, in the future. You know, obviously.
Yeah, because like right, Because like right now, guys, the reason why we're doing this training stuff, because me and him, we understand this, that we're in the fucking matrix, legitimately.
Yeah.
So, which is like, caring about money, caring about status, caring about stuff like that. When in reality, I think there's a much bigger picture. And so talk about what that much bigger picture is to you. But look, we are also aware that we have to fucking play the game, the matrix game, in order to get to that next level. So talk about what the next level is to us.
Well, for us, the next level, I mean, just being more being. I mean, I would say just being self-aware of like who we really are. Who we really are, not just the.
What do you mean by that? Like the.
Just not like the materialistic and physical reality. It's more about like what we're really meant to be in this world. Like for us to transcend into something more positive than chaotic.
Yeah.
So in reality, it's like we want a world where there's no need to run. There's no need for you to step on anyone for you to succeed. There's no need for greed or power hungry people or politicians.
Yeah.
It's more like a all synchronized world where we are all on the same mindset and mentality. Instead of being divided and conquered. So overall, it's just more of a more like an enlightened state of vibration for us, all of us, to rise up and be free thinkers. For us to all of us, be independent and think for ourselves and not be controlled or manipulated of biased opinions.
Yeah,
So
I see what you're saying. So yeah, you said like free thinkers.
Yeah.
Not allow the bullshit narratives that are happening to
control and consume our minds.
Yeah.
And think for ourselves. Because a lot of us are conditioned. Since school. Like a lot of us are conditioned since school to raise your hand and obey. You can't talk back to the teacher because you'll get in trouble. So we're already being suppressed. At that moment in time when we're kids. So it's like. And that's how we're being conditioned to do, since we're kids. So I feel like that's been the whole narrative behind everything in this matrix. It's like that's the whole narrative. Like control, follow directions. It's all like
don't do your own thing.
Don't do your own thing. Yeah. Don't think freely. Don't do your own research. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do that. Suppression.
Yeah.
Therefore, we don't really expand our minds. Therefore, we keep our conscious small. We don't expand our consciousness. So like that's the goal that I feel like that needs to be accomplished. Like all humanity needs to become aware that we've been getting fooled. Like we're getting set up here. To not succeed. I mean, what do you think? Only like 2-3% of the population are like filthy rich. They control the rest of us. And then power comes obviously like that intention of controlling and keeping a narrative. If you think about it.
So our goal and what we're doing, guys, is we're learning how to trade the financial markets so we can ultimately be able to have enough capital so we can sway the narrative and be able to help the world go to a more positive place.
Right, exactly. That's the ultimate goal. Yeah,
what we're doing.
Step out of the traditional way of just running things. Like the hamster wheel effect. Like wake up in the morning, get a 9 to 5. Go to your job or go to school to get a good job, work at a 9 to 5 job, and slave your life away working a job that you hate. And not really like be living your life to the fullest. And that comes back to like not being able to really appreciate and live in the moment, because then you're going about your day worrying about things that are like
Matrix
work stuff. And like matrix stuff, bro. Like work, shit, tomorrow, damn, I gotta do this, damn, my boss told me to do that, this, that. You're never really focusing on yourself at all, like on what you want to do, what you want to think, and how you want to go and live your life, not living the life for someone else that you're working for. And it doesn't make sense. So, and everybody, majority of us are stuck into that mentality where we're always thinking in the past, therefore not enjoying our present moment and creating a same residual depressing future. Because you're always thinking in the past, not enjoying your moment in the present time. Therefore, your future is going to be just that whole wheel. That whole wheel just moving into into your grave, you know?
Yeah.
It is. It's sad though. It's really sad.
Okay.
So instead of doing that, you know, just think for yourself and live in the moment, and forget about the past. Bring only the past if you're gonna learn from it. Enjoy every single moment that you have in the present. Therefore, if you enjoy it in the present, that present is always going to be moving forward into the
I
future,
see what you're saying,
and the present is always is all we have, you know.
Yeah.
Everything else is kind of in our minds if you think about it, you know.
Yeah.
So if you treat the present, you know, if you treat life good, and life is going to treat you good as well, you know.
Yeah.
And that's it. Your future's going to be pretty good if you work by those rules, you know.
Yeah.
And that's how it's supposed to be, not be stuck in our own minds and not living in the moment, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that being stuck in our own minds, not living in the moment, is being stuck in the matrix, you know, if you think about it, because you're always thinking about something else and somewhere else and who knows what, you know. And that's what, and society keeps you that way, keeps you suppressed, you know, keeps you limited, and keeps you always worried and frustrated and scared, you know. And fear dominates all of us, you know. And that's what you see, fear and the news, and you never hear anything positive in the news, like, hey, guess what, guys,
true.
you know,
That's true.
something beautiful just happened.
So you're saying that's so you're saying that making sure to not be living in fear and making sure to not be consistently thinking about the past,
Right.
unless it's going to help you, and to make sure to, while you're in the moment, to appreciate it and like work the moment.
Exactly, yeah. Work the moment. Have a beautiful relationship with life.
Yeah.
Because if you have a beautiful relationship with life,
What does that mean?
it means, like, if you appreciate everything that life gives you, everything that life gives you, if it's bad or good, and if the way you perceive it, and you take it as a lesson learned, or something that, you know, as you take it as a positive instead of a negative, and you don't take it in a bad way, then I feel that everything that comes your way is not going to really affect you in any bad way, you know. Everything that comes in your way is just because it's supposed to come in your way, and the only thing that pushes you back from getting better things in your life is because we nag about it, you know. And we put ourselves down, and we talk bad about things that, oh, I didn't want this, I wanted that. But if we appreciate everything that we have, then guess what, our future's going to be nothing but abundance, you know, nothing but stuff that we're going to be appreciating, because it's like law of attraction, you know, and it comes in the same way. So I mean, it's just you know, it's just kind of seeing things a little bit differently, you know.
I got you.
Perspective wise.
What would you say? No, yeah, you're right. So let's actually bring up your birthday. So so you're gonna be having your birthday. When is it? The 17th?
The 17th of March.
It's pretty cute. I think his baby girl gave him a little present, right? You can let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So what do you mean? Like?
As in, like, snowboard, right?
Oh
You know, like,
yeah. So I snowboard. I mean, I've been religiously snowboarding for like 12 years now.
His nickname's Chad. I'm just kidding.
It's like my hobby, you know. It's awesome. I love it. It's my little getaway. Escape from, like, reality back in the days, I would call it, because I mean, technically, I think I was trying to escape from the matrix, you know.
Oh yeah.
Now that I think about it, because I'm living. I'm out there. I'm free. I'm by myself, you know. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it all the time. But yeah, my girl, she got me a pass for. And I haven't gone this year at all, because I just been really busy.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even thinking of going snowboarding, you know. And she knew that I've been wanting to go really, really bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, she got me a pass for my birthday.
Excited about that.
Yeah, bro, super stoked.
That's so cool.
So it's gonna be a good day, you know. Just gonna get out of there and just enjoy and just tear shit up out there, you know.
Yeah. No, hey, I wanna go out there with you one day, actually, because I used to fall and the shit fucking hurts. But yeah, man. So let's talk about just one more thing here. So let's talk about how what you learned from everything from your family, your mom and dad. What did your mom and dad teach you? What did your relationship teach you? Okay. And also, what did kind of our relationship? How did that come into play? Like, how are you using all that information
Together?
Yeah.
I mean, well, my parents.
What did your mom and dad?
Since we were kids, I mean, since when we were younger, me and my older brother, you know, obviously a little closer with each other since we were same age.
Yeah.
I mean, it was tough, you know. Like, to be honest, it wasn't easy, because we didn't have a lot of money either. But we were always so united, and all of us were always like, you know, we always take care of each other no matter what. and then my dad, he's been a hustler, a go-getter since day one, you know. So he always knew that no matter what, I gotta take care of my family, and it led him up to be like, you know, just hardcore boss and alpha, you know. And a lot of people might see it like a machismo, but he took charge and he took responsibility, and I learned a lot from him off that, you know. So it molded me to be a man, you know.
Okay.
It molded me to take responsibility and take care of others, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
What about your mom?
My mom, she just taught me a lot of like love and patience and just take things with calm and ease, you know, not too much stress. So I learned a lot from both of my parents, like as far as who I am now.
So now we say like your relationship. How to like what are some key moments in your relationship or key information that you are now applying now in your life?
Well, now I mean everything that my dad has taught me to be affirmative, you know, to take action, to not depend on no one to do things for you, because I mean if you depend on someone to do something for you, it might not always come out the way you want it to come out, you know. So if you want something to happen your way, then you just gotta do it yourself, you know. And I mean that doesn't mean like you can't work with anybody. It just means like you can just keep taking the actions that you want to take actions, you know, for, you know, that's it. Because I mean results come from your own actions, not from everybody else's actions, you know. If you really want something, that my dad has taught me is like then you have to get it yourself, you know. You have to get it yourself, because no one else is going to do the work for you. And my mom, she has just taught me a lot of like just, you know, compassion and just love and just understanding and trust with her. She's always knows how to kind of like get to your mind in a loving consciousness type of way, you know. So I mean I learned
how do you use that in your life now?
I mean I use it for my relationship, you know. I use it with friends, and just I use it with anything and anything that I do and apply in my life with balance, you know. And I just make sure that I use not just one-sided way of doing things, but multiple-sided ways, multiple perspectives, because I learned that from my parents, you know. And now I see them as a role model for my relationship, because they have a great relationship with each other, and they still do, and they learn how to balance their relationship, and then they learn how to help each other from, you know, what my mom always calms my dad down in certain situations where he's a little bit too like, you know, like too aggressive, you know, too manly. She's the one that kind of calms him down and puts him on check, you know. So I learned a lot from that in my life, in my relationships with my friends and my girlfriend. That it's just, you know, you have to just have that balance and that peace and that calm, you know, when you talk and how you present yourself, you know. And if you show too much emotions based on you know, you let things get to you, and then you're an emotional person that you show weakness, you know. And it's kind of weird, because I see it as in like if you're back in the days, you had to be hard, you had to be like emotionless. But in reality, it's like the ones that are being so aggro and so aggressive are the ones that are actually hurting the most, you know. The ones that are showing more like emotions, more emotions and more reactions and you know, more being just a little bit more aggro and not being able to control their emotions in a way, are the ones that are really, you know, are the weak ones, you know. Because if you think about it, if you have an argument and you take things in calm and relax, and you're completely controlling your emotions, then that's where the real power comes. Because that's harder to do.
It is harder.
It is harder to do, because you can easily you can just outburst and be like, no, fuck you, and I'm the man, and I'm tougher, and you know, you can't F with me, whatever, you know. And that's easy to do, because I mean that's the easy way out, you know. But if you just control and you kick back and you just relax, and that's more dangerous, you know, because you're just more in power. You know what you're doing, you know. So, and then that has taught me a lot too, because of the financial markets, you know. Big time, bro. So like you can't let little losses get to you either. You know, we even though they have, of course.
We've gone through a lot of losses.
But it has taught me a lot of how to control my emotions, you know, how to like just kind of like, you know, not. Of course, it gets to all of us.
Not react to
it in a negative way, or not convince me that like that's not for me, or you know, for me to quit, you know. So it wouldn't work that way. It doesn't work that way at all, you know. And it has taught me just a lot, just based on being just how I was raised with my parents, you know, and how I applied things with my girlfriend, and even now I think everything is just kind of synchronized together, because what I learned from my parents, what I applied that to my relationship, and now this is being applied into what I do in my trading. So it all comes together just as a balance and controlling emotions, and everything is kind of working together to build on each other, you know. So it's giving me a better relationship with my girlfriend. It's giving me a better relationship with trading. And a better relationship with my parents, and a better relationship with life and overall balance, you know.
That's awesome, man.
So it's just kind of working out like a tripod right now, you know?
Kind of like with the tripod, the phone's right there. Cool. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you very much for that, man. I
thank you, bro. I appreciate you.
We're gonna get going here, but look, hopefully I can get him back onto another interview, right? Hopefully we can get some more information because there's a lot to learn from you guys. And what we're gonna do now is go to your socials. So where can people follow you and all that stuff?
So my Instagram, Johnny Mendoza _.
So Johnny Mendoza, JOHNNY Mendoza.
Yeah, Mendoza underscore.
Okay, what about? We just created a TikTok, right?
Yeah, TikTok. Yeah, TikTok. I mean, I haven't really posted anything.
Yeah, but it's okay. We're gonna get some on it.
It's gonna get So it's Johnny Trades _.
Okay, so Johnny Trades, JOHNNY Trades, TRADES _.
Yeah, _. And then my YouTube, that's also gonna be the
same thing.
Yeah, so same thing. Johnny Trades.
YouTube and TikTok are the same. Johnny Trades _ and Instagram
just Johnny Trades.
What about MySpace?
Oh no,
sorry.
YouTube. Sorry, YouTube is just Johnny Trades.
Just Johnny Trades. All right, cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
And MySpace.
Oh, all right, cool. Well, all right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and end this here, and also subscribe to the channel, like this freaking video, subscribe to his freaking channel, drop some comments. Anything, fucking give us some hate messages, anything, get any questions,
whatever, controversial, whatever.
Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, bring it on.
All right, guys.